Hello everyone, I am Shubham Garg and welcome to this course for C++. So in this course we are going to learn C++ from very basics. It is a beginner entry level course and I am going to teach every basic C++ commands here. This course will be practical based, so we will learn by doing. We will learn everything by writing the programs, and while writing the program I am going to parallelly explain everything which is there in the programs. Okay, so first of all, the first thing is downloading the compiler for C++. Okay, so here you can see on my screen I am using CodeBlocks compiler. So I am going to show you how to download this CodeBlocks and install the CodeBlocks. Okay, so first thing, you need to go to your web browser and add CodeBlocks. Okay, so just write CodeBlocks here and you will go to this site, CodeBlocks. In the codeblocks.org you will come towards this side. Just click on downloads. Okay, and here this is the option, download the binary release. Okay, so just click on download the binary release and you will come to this web page. Here you need to select the binary release for Windows XP Vista or 7 or 10. Okay, so now from these releases, the one you need to select is this one, CodeBlocks with MinGW. Okay, so the version is 20.03 for me and this is the MinGW setup. So why MinGW? Basically because the C++ language needs two things. One is code editor and the other one is compiler, so that you can run the C++ program. Okay, that is, you write the code in a code editor, then use a compiler which converts that code to machine level code, and then it gets compiled and program is able to run. So that is done using MinGW. Okay, if you download only CodeBlocks, then you will just get an editor. Okay, so MinGW is a G++ compiler that is we are going to use for compiling our C++ program. So from here, CodeBlocks, this MinGW setup, just select download from this and your download will begin. Okay, see, the download is beginning, so I have already downloaded it, so I am not going to download it again. Next thing what you need to do is you need to just run the setup. Okay, let me just show you. Let me just show you from the downloads. That is, there is the setup. This is CodeBlocks, and when you run, what kind of options you are going to get. So first of all, you need to click yes to the prompt. Okay, and then you will see this kind of option. So you just need to click next. You need to agree the agreement. Click next again and just press install. Okay, so after you press install, it will start installing. So I am not going to install again since I have already installed it. Okay, and then while installing, after installation is almost complete, it is going to ask to run the CodeBlocks. Just press yes. All right. So now when you will press yes, this is how the screen will look like, and that's how CodeBlocks will start. Okay, and now you will see the options here: create a new project, open existing project, etc. So now to create a new C project, C++ project, what you need to do is you need to go to file and then go to new and create an empty file. So here you need to create an empty file. All right. So now let me just tell you about the basic workspace of C++. First of all, remember that all the C++ files are saved using the extension .cpp. Okay, for example, if you have written some program, okay, there is a program you have written, or for example, you need to save this file as a C++ file. So what you need to do is you need to go to file, save file as, and let's say first program, and here .cpp. This .cpp is very important because this is what tells your compiler that this file is a C++ program file. Okay, so just click save and here you can see it becomes the first program.cpp. Now let me just create another new file so that we can show the difference between .cpp file and a normal file. Okay, so let's say, for example, in a normal file, okay, this is some coding I'm going to write, so don't worry, I will explain everything. So for example, this is a command I'm going to write here, include IOStream. Okay, so this is a C++ command. You can see here it is written casually in the file which is not saved. However, when you write in a saved C++ file, that is .cpp file, when you write here #include and you write here IOStream, so you can see here this thing is coming in green color. Okay, plus if you have noted that it was giving me suggestions, and that is what command I want to write. Like for example, here include, and here it was giving suggestions, that is IOStream or any other file, and it is auto completing everything. Okay, so that is basically the syntax highlighting. You can see here it is in green color, that is syntax highlighting. There are different colors which are fixed for different commands. For example, see, I write int, it becomes blue color. Okay, here I write int, there is no change. So that is what we call as syntax highlighting. Okay, so it basically makes the program more readable and easily understandable. All right, and auto suggestion and auto complete are some features of this code blocks. So that's why you don't have to write the same syntax again and again. Okay, it is giving you the suggestions on your own, on its own. Okay, so this is what the first thing we need to do, that is save your program using .cpp extension. Now let me just write the basic structure of a C++ program. Okay, before that, first thing, let me tell you some of the commands, that is logs and other things here. Okay, you can see here this view option. Just click on view, and here is this logs. You can check or uncheck. Okay, this basically tells you about the error or any warning in your program. So as I told you, in a C++ program, what happens? First of all, you write the program, okay, then you compile the program. Okay, that's why we downloaded this this MinGW compiler, the code blocks with MinGW compiler. Okay, and then after compiling, it will check for errors. If there are errors, it will not run. The program will not run. Okay, if there are no error, the program will run. If no errors, program will run. Okay, so that's how things are going to be here. So to see if there are errors, to see if there are any errors or not, this log file is going to tell us about the errors. You can see before it is saying 0 errors, 0 warnings. Okay, so this is going to tell us the error, and where it is also going to tell us where is that error. Okay, so for example, when we show here view logs, when I run the program, it is going to tell me errors if there are any errors in the program. So let's make a layout of a first program to tell you how an actual program looks like. Okay, so don't worry if you don't understand the code right now. I'm going to explain everything. Okay, first of all, I just want to show you the feel of how a program looks like in C++. Okay, and now so first program, you know, in any language, whether it's your first one or you have encountered any programming language before, any language, the first program we make, we generally make a hello world program. That is, we just give the output that is to be displayed on the console as hello world. Okay, that is when the program will run, we will see on our screen hello world written. Okay, so this is basically done it is also done to check the compilers if everything is working fine or not. So don't worry about the program if you are not able to understand right now. Let's first run the program, okay, and see if we get hello world output on our screen or not. And we will also see how we are going to get the output. So first option, what we are going to do is, here we need to go to build, and there is an option compile current file. Okay, so we will first of all compile. As you remember, I just told you that first we write the code, then we compile, and it will check if there are any errors or not. And if compile is successful, then we will be able to run our program. So we will just compile current file. You can see here, it is saying build finish, 0 errors, 0 warnings. Okay, and it finished in 1 second. So now there are no errors, and we can run our program. So there is this green button that is run, and you can see here in the console output we get hello world. All right, so this is how our program is going to run, and this is how a basic C++ program looks like. All right, so now we are going to see what is the meaning of these commands which we have written. Okay, so basically the first thing, that is hash include iostream. Okay, one thing you need to remember, that these commands are going to be there in every C++ program. Okay, all right, so this is the basic structure. So now these commands are going to be in every C++ programs. This is the basic structure. So first command is basically hash include iostream. Okay, so now for any language to work, what is the important thing is that this language should understand the commands. All right, for example, I used to print this hello world. I use this command cout. Okay, we pronounce it as cout. Okay, it is not count, it is not cout, it is cout. Okay, that is cout. So this is this command, for example, and this is used for output. Okay, cout, it is used to display output. So this is the command cout, and it is used to display the output. So now our program, to tell our program that what we mean by this cout, or we need to use some basic keyword, that is int for integer. To tell our program that this means something, we need a header file. Okay, that is this thing, hash include iostream. Okay, so there is this header file. It is like a library file which contains the data. That is when the developers build C++, they contains the data for the header files, which tells that this cout means cout. Okay, that is, it is used to display output. All right, for example, let's say if you remove this header file and now you try to compile the program, it is going to give you error that cout was not declared. That means it is not able to understand what cout means. So to understand that, it needs the header file, that is include iostream. Okay, hash include iostream. All right, so this is the code blocks compiler. Okay, the format for iostream can be changed in different compiler. For example, there is another compiler, Turbo C++, and in that you declare the header files like this, hash include, okay, not @ it's hash include iostream.h. Okay, there is this .h extra. So it just depends on compiler to compiler. You don't need to worry about that. Okay, I will also show how to download and install Turbo C++, and then we will see that format as well. So now this was our first command, that was header file, and this is to include these basic functions or keywords or commands so that our compiler could know what we are talking about. Okay, next thing is using namespace std. So std is basically the abbreviation for standard. Okay, so now what is std? The using namespace standard is basically used to define the standard for the cout cin commands. Okay, that is for this cout command to define this cout, that is, it will display the hello world. This is the standard, that is namespace standard. Okay, so let us remove this namespace. And it basically again depends on compiler to compiler. Some compiler needs this namespace to be defined. If you migrate to Turbo C++, then there is no need for this namespace. Okay, so we are going to compile the program, and let's see, it is again showing the error that cout was not declared in this scope because there is no namespace standard. Alright, so that's why we need this namespace standard. Also, this is one way for the namespace standard. It basically uses this namespace to prevent any collision in the memory. Okay, but this thing, defining the namespace like this, is considered as bad practice, because what happens, it defines this standard for the whole code. Okay, and thus what is happening, it basically it is not for the particular scope, it defines for the whole scope, and it will form clutters in the programming workspace. Okay, since our systems are very hi-fi now, so it doesn't matter if we use a namespace like this, but anywhere you are programming and there is some anywhere you are programming and there are some memory constraints, then it will be a bad practice. So what you can do, instead of using namespace standard, you can use standard and this operator, that is : .cout, to specify that this is the standard for this operation. So here you won't be creating a clutter for whole program. You will only create a space standard for your cout command. Okay, so for now we are going to use this namespace. So every time you either you declare the namespace before int main command, or you declare standard : every time you use cout. Okay, so for now we are going to use here only, that is using namespace std. Okay, and this is for namespace standard. Now next command is int main. Okay, so int main, it is the basic function in C++ programming. Okay, so the C++ program cannot run using without the main function. Okay, we need a main function in a C++ program. Okay, we will discuss in later what functions are in detail later on. So, but this is a main function which runs the program. This needs to be there. Okay, and int, that is for integer. Integer is a data type. Okay, integer is a data type. Okay, we will see about data types in later videos. Alright, so this is our main function. This should be included in every program, and we need to make sure that after main function there are these brackets, that is these parentheses. Okay, so this is the syntax, and after the main function will be there will be curly brackets. Okay, so remember, when you open a curly bracket, you have to close the curly bracket as well, and every code you need to write, you should write in between this curly brackets. Okay, so far what we have discussed, first of all, this is our header file. Okay, this basically tells what cout means, what int means, okay, to our program, and this is the format, that is #include, then angular brackets and iostream. Next is using namespace standard. Okay, one more thing, make sure to never forget to write this semicolon after every C++ commands. Okay, that as you can see here, using namespace standard, there is semicolon. After cout hello world, there is semicolon. After return 0, there is semicolon. Okay, only after functions there is not semicolon, and there is curly brackets to run our program. Alright, so now after the curly brackets, inside the curly brackets we are going to write our program. So that is, here we are writing using cout, and these are two angular brackets to write hello world. So basically these angular brackets is used to display on console. Okay, that is on the output screen, to display the output, these angular brackets are used, that is cout and these, okay, that is it is towards the output. And then we have this return 0. So basically our function is integer, it is of type integer, that is int, that's why we used return 0. Alright, and because the integer type function should return a value, so in this case we do not need any particular value, so we return 0, okay, and we will see the programs later where we have to return the values. So now let us run the program and see the output. Alright, so you can see hello world, this is the output and this is our first program. So now let me tell you the shortcuts to run the program and compile the program. Okay, so first of all, the control plus F9 is the shortcut for compile. Control and F9, when you press control and F9, it will compile the program. Okay, it was aborted. Okay, wait a minute. So here control plus F9, okay, for compile. So let's save it and run control plus F9, and you can see it finished compiling, 0 error, 0 warnings. Okay, now to run the program, the command is control plus F10. Alright, this is for run in this specific compiler, that is in code blocks. The commands change from compiler to compiler. So this is control F9 for compile, and see 0 errors, and the command to run is control F10. Okay, you can see this is our program, that is hello world. So this is how you create a hello world program. Okay, that is basically hello world program is the first basic program we use whenever we work on any programming language. We also use this to check if the compiler is working fine or not. Alright, so this was the basic structure, and this is how we create a hello world program. Alright, so I hope this basic structure is clear. After this we are going to see how to do the same thing in another compiler, that is Turbo C++. Alright, Turbo C++ is basically used whenever we are taught the basics of C++ programming. Most of students, most of people have started the programming from that Turbo C++ compiler, including me. Okay, so next we are going to see how to download and install that Turbo C++ compiler. Okay, and we will run the basic program, hello world program, in the Turbo C++ program compiler. After that we will create some basic programs, and we will move towards some other basic statements of C++ language. Okay, so this is all for this video. See you guys in the next video.